right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. And welcome back to another exciting episode of Toxic Masculinity, where I've got my co-host, the hostess with the mostest, the mustachioed one, the one and only, the Predator, Don Frye.
Hey, baby.
And Don is down in the Sierra Vista / Tucson area right now, and Arizona, and I am still up here in Howell, Michigan. But our guest here is actually back in the state of New York, out on, I think, one of the islands there. If I don't know how specific we'll get here right now with this, but we have a New Yorker here right now that's going to be on the line. But we have Seth Turner, who is actually the president of the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. So we're going to be talking about a lot of professional wrestling stuff. We're going to be talking about this incredible museum that just opened up just a few weeks back, I think maybe a little over a month or so back, and we'll be talking about that and all kinds of stuff that's professional wrestling related and whatever else that's that we can come up and sling at people if we happen to offend, defend anyone and everyone that we so desire.
Dan, you were there during our dinner when we gave a nice medal of metal to Azalea Farkas. She was a beautiful young lady who loves pro wrestling, but has to overcome some very significant obstacles, being deaf and having some other conditions, which, again, she has to overcome these obstacles, but she loves her pro wrestling. And so that evening was about Azalea. Or that evening was about Anthony DePippo, the gentleman that you and I were speaking about, who was wrongfully imprisoned for over 20 years and has been exonerated, and who just loved pro wrestling and just wanted so bad to be involved in pro wrestling. And we helped him by working with him for the last year, where on Friday night, he got to step in the ring and he got to do some things with Booker T and myself, and some tag teams. So, you know, that's what it was all about. And by the way, what did I do? I got an email complaining about why was I in the ring with that guy and I hadn't trained here and everywhere else. I'm not kidding. That was one of those complaints.
Oh my God.
Do I answer that guy? Because in the meantime, for Anthony, that weekend was life-changing. You know, again, this guy suffered in prison for over 20 years. We said that where other people had to go fight a match in a ring, or he was fighting for his life in prison for a crime he didn't commit. And that has introduced us to lots of other people who were involved with the Innocence Project. And you start looking to your left and right, realizing, wow, we've got some issues here, you know.
How do you get 20 years back of your life? I mean, that's gone, wrongfully gone. And I know we were talking a little bit off the air there about that, but the fact that it wasn't until more things improved in the forensics type of area of law enforcement, and that they were able to prove that it was not Anthony, and they were able to find out who it actually was in the process, correct?
Well, yeah, Anthony had to continue during this entire duration to advocate for himself and basically become a lawyer himself. And what I understand, and by the way, it's very well documented. There's a Rolling Stone article that covers all of this, and there's some documentaries that are coming out. But as well, he eventually was able to introduce, as part of the argument, evidence that related to another individual who had committed the crime, but who is in prison in another state. So the courts had refused to allow his defense to introduce information that was condemning to another person. So they continued to not allow that evidence. And Anthony, through his diligence, was able to finally get that introduced. And that's when the story shifted and it was clear he didn't do it. This other guy did. So I'm not an attorney. I don't want to, be the guy on record, but that's what my understanding of.
Yeah, no, great. Actually, even while you're telling the story, I'm listening to you, but then I'm looking at the back of this coffee bag, and it simply says, when you've got no fight left in you. I'm thinking, what a great slogan to have on there when you got no fight left in you. But then turn it right back around because I want people to see the front of it because it's got the hot tag. I mean, because you go when you see the front and then you see the back, I'm thinking great marketing on that whatsoever. Now, with this being called hot tag, is it because it's hot coffee or is there a spiciness to this coffee?
No, just a very strong dark roast coffee. So there's
so it's that kind of coffee that's going to make it get ready and fired up.
Roast. That's right. So when you got no fight left in you, get the hot tag. That's
nice.
Right. Great marketing by Motor Oil Coffee, who happened to just be opening around the same time. So let's give credit to Mike Lanuto. I told you he was the financial guy. So what's he doing? He's out there hustling, getting us the sponsorship and well,
again, the holidays are not that far off, and again, those are some great little Christmas type stockings. For Thanksgiving, a lot of relatives will be over. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
What I saw was collectors were buying these, not even to drink it, but to just keep it. So,
yeah, and again. Because I'm gonna go back because I know that you're not going to do it, but I'm gonna bring it up again. But there are people that want to get involved to your www.prowrestlinghall.org.
That's right.
That's people that want to get involved, and they can make donations. I mean, is that a way that they can do it? But these, if they want to make a contribution or something of that nature, they can do something like this, and this is a tax write-off for them.
That's right. Again, so yes, go to www.prowrestlinghall.org or find us on social media. We've got a very active Facebook group, and we're on the other social medias as well. I'm not on them, so find us.
Well, can you exactly? I mean, is the Facebook page? Is it the International Professional Hall of Fame?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So you can just put that in for a search and. They should see a lot of different pictures of there. I mean, it was. There's lots of videos. We had the panel discussion. We didn't talk about that, which was very educational. That's something that's unique to our event, where we had I think 5 individuals: yourself, Booker T, Bill Apter. Who else? JJ.
Well, I mean, I think there's actually more. I know JJ Dillon was a part of that, and I thought there's like 6 or 7, and also Bushwacker.
Yeah, Oh God, you gotta love Bushwacker Luke. That's the guy.
What a great character! What a great character!
And someone who has been wrestling for 7 different decades. Think about that. And is still out there and can still perform.
No, that's fantastic. It's like I said, it just I was there, I just smiling almost the entire time because of just different people and just the people that are just talking to you and you're interacting with. You can't help but be happy about that. And we've already talked. We brought it up a couple of times, but we're still going to bring it up again. That this event, it takes place the last weekend in August. So. People start marking your calendars now because there'll be people. I know that I've been talking to you already, or Seth, of things that we could do just for the following year because I like what you guys did. I had a chance to meet with so many other people at the time. I just simply liked the individuals that are running this, but then also it's being run as a business. And I like all the things that you guys stand for and what you're trying to do with this. And rest assured, I'll be bringing in a few different belts when I come back in the next time, and so we can help to bring in a few more people there to bring in this. But now that Mr. Frye is back, I need to kind of gloat here just a little bit. So. Can you embellish a little bit more one more time there about this Trailblazer Award and how that dignifies me to receive something like that?
Yeah, I want to hear this one too. Yeah.
Well, no, let's give credit where it's due. All right. And so all jokes aside, Dan, the Beast Severn was selected for the 2022 Trailblazer Award. He does have a plaque which hangs in our Hall of Fame, and we gifted him a beautiful.
See, in the Hall of Fame, they're done, not in the bathroom, in the Hall of Fame. Okay, all right.
Dan, you should have your ring out here now to show him a little bit of the bling.
Well, again, I did not make that. Those are both over in Coldwater right now with the plaque and the ring, both. I mean that ring is so impressive looking. I kept thinking, well, again, I was like, how do they know my ring size here? Because actually I put it on and it fits. I'm thinking, wow, this is incredible. But it's something that would make Liberace, basically, wanting or something like that, because it's such a big, gaudy, impressive looking type of a ring.
Well, thank you. I designed all of that. And if you look.
Did you really?
Look inside the ring, by the way, and you will see an ankle lock. That's right. There's inside the ring, there's a hidden figure. That's right. See?
Oh, my goodness. The hidden figure. I'm actually myself with those here to do that.
You'll see a Boston crab is on the side of it, and on the inside, you'll see an ankle lock. I was trying to do a spinning toe hold to recognize the funks, but I couldn't quite get the graphic to come out on a toe hold.
No, that's fantastic.
But Dan, the Trailblazer Award, let's go back to this. Again, you were selected by the Board of Trustees, and that was in recognition of your having bridged the gap between mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. And we've got to give credit to where it's due. You really did blaze the trail there, which now has been walked by the likes of Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar and Ken Shamrock and lots of others. But you were in, and by the way, what I love is you were in pro wrestling first, then you were in mixed martial arts, and then you told the story at our induction of how having knowledge of the ring ropes benefited you as you went into what were the tough guy competitions.
Yes, the psychology aspect of learning the psychology of how to work the audience, the crowd there, to where, again, the baby face typically is looking for that positive and clapping. Go ahead. Sorry.
You'd also talked about that your first tough guy competition was being held in a ring, and you knew that you took that big guy, pushed him off the ropes, caught his inertia as he came back, and then tossed
rubber band.
And that again, that was that knowledge of knowing how the ring was going to work that paid dividends into what became mixed martial arts. So that's where the selection for the Trailblazer Award had come from. We stand by our selection, Don, by the way. And
see, Don, they weren't asking for the award back afterwards. Okay, so they weren't asking for it back.
If you've got something to say about it, you can talk to our pal, the Beast. Okay?
Obviously, you didn't ask for him to put a down payment on anything.
Okay, but Don, you could ask Seth if I was wearing my fanny pack. You see, didn't ask him about that there, okay?
I believe you were. not when you received the induction, but
actually, I fill it full of those finger foods, so you have something to eat on the drive home.
There we go. Mr. Frye does not let me down. Did not let me down whatsoever.
But Dan, you've talked about our event, you talked about our website. Let's remind everybody, we are a bona fide Hall of Fame at the MVP Arena in Albany, New York. Again, we are the only real Hall of Fame museum that's dedicated to professional wrestling. We want to invite people to come on out. We're limited in 2022, but if you contact us, we will set up tours. So go to our website, send us an email. That's prowrestlinghall.org. We'll set up individual tours, or we'll do field trips for classes, but not until 2023 will we be open, regularly.
No, that's good. I just, again, all the stuff that you guys have done, what you're standing for, the project that you're working on in the future. I mean, definitely You can count on me being there for the 2023 event taking place, and I'm gonna be looking to try to help bring in additional people to it. So having you on the podcast is just one aspect of it, but I'm sure we'll have you on a few more times prior to the event, next year's event.
I'd ask you to give us some artifacts to display, but all you did was wear a black trunks and boots. I don't know what the hell.
Well,
the gray
come
t-shirt.
on now.
Yeah, the gray t-shirt.
A gray t-shirt with a sweat ring onto it. I mean, it's that was so classic and iconic.
Genius.
But we want to put that out there again to people who've been in pro wrestling or the families of pro wrestlers. If you do want to perhaps give us some artifacts on loan, we would appreciate that. We do want to. We'll give you clear documentation and maintain insurance on those artifacts while we have them. So we do want to encourage people to contact us for those types of things as well. Again, we want to have rotating displays.
So all this grand prizes that you received, what's the one item you're most proud of in your Hall of Fame? Besides Dan Severn, of course.
Well, I would think that, okay, what was really impressive to me is the boots that you had in there from Andre the Giant. First off,
no, we didn't. I don't think those were Andres. They were I think they were Bam Bam Bigelows, but they were pretty big.
Well, yeah. I mean, all I know is that the size of that boot, I'm thinking, holy moly, look at the size of that boot right there.
I'm going to go with Bruno Sammartino's original WWF championship belt, because I personally procured that in May of 2020 and got it through an auction, but it was the Sammartino family directly, and then I subsequently became friendly with the Sammartino family. But when you look back through history, Bruno's the man. Bruno is just the man. And for me to be someone not affiliated with a large company, and at that time, again, May of 2020, and that artifact was going to auction. I got tipped off about it, but I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I couldn't tell anybody what I was trying to do, because that would have put a spotlight on it. And then I, had to really calculate, could I do this? How do I do it? And when when I pulled that off, that was something. So I'm going to go with Bruno Sammartino's championship belt. That's a big deal.
Well, then let me go into a Bruno Sammartino story here then real quick. It's I had never met Bruno at this point in time, and then I get a phone call out of the blue. Again, cell phones were not all that great now, not all that prevalent at the time, but I get a phone call on my cell phone out of the blue from Bruno Sammartino. I was early on in my professional wrestling career and stuff like that, and I had the NWA belt, and he was very complimentary, just saying, he goes, young man, he goes, I hear all the good things that you do with the belt. Keep up the good work. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, first off, how did he get my cell phone number? And then then he calls me up out of the blue like that. And then I just remember going to a show, and I knew he was going to be there, and I went out of my way to go there to meet the man and shake hands with him. We had a great conversation. I did not know him that long, but hearing the stories about how he would sell out the Madison Square Garden every time, just having Bruno Sammartino on there, sell out, boom, right there alone, because he was so beloved by so many people. So.
Well, by the way, I want you to imagine the conversation when I had to go to my wife and say, honey, I'd like to spend some money and buy a wrestling belt. Okay.
You're a much braver man than me there, Seth.
Okay. But here's what happened. This was in March, April of 2020, COVID's hitting. We had taken my in-laws, who were in their 80s and from Italy, Italian immigrants, are living with us. And I said, look, this belt is available. I'd like to, give it a shot. I want to, try to maneuver some things. And my wife, of course, was not buying it. So we watched a Bruno Sammartino documentary with two 80-year-old Italian immigrants. By the time that video was done, her father said, if you don't buy it, I'm buying it.
Wow, you were stacking the deck in your favor there. Yeah, yeah.
Well, so, but again, when you go back to what a quality individual, and that's what makes it that valuable, and forget that he was 12 years as the champion. Bruno had been born in Italy, had to grow up with the Nazis taking over his town. He barely survived in the mountains when you hear his story. And again, my mother-in-law had left from Naples in the very same ports where he had left to come to the US. And then, you know, he came here. He was a small, weak guy who just kept eating and lifting weights and wrestling, and then went on to dominate the entire pro wrestling world. And because of those hardships, he didn't have to take the crap from Vince McMahon Sr. down the road, because he knew he'd already survived these very difficult times, and wasn't going to be manipulated by people. He knew his worth, and he was going to command his worth, which is, you know, not stuff that's so admirable.
Yeah, no, you don't hear about that too often, whatsoever. So no, it's like I said, just again, just a great story, a great man, and to have his belt on display there. Wow,
So
fantastic.
what's your opinion about Triple H, since we got on Vince McMahon? What's your opinion about Triple H taking over for Vince?
I don't think Vince is not got his hand in controlling that. And if you think that for a second,
He hasn't stepped away. Yeah.
you can't live that your entire life and then say you're going to ride off into the sunset. So I don't know. I'm not on the inside loop on that stuff. God bless them. I hope everybody figures it out. You know, I got nothing to, you know, that's their business.
He'll show up somewhere down the road underneath a hood, a mask somehow.
Hey, I gotta tell you, the people with WWE are always very good with us. They've helped our organization to do some things for some needy individuals along the way, you know, and they don't ask for credit for a lot of the good philanthropic work that they do, but I do need to give credit. The WWE does a lot of good things for a lot of good people. And the individuals with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, individuals who have
I was getting ready to say Make-A-Wish. They're really big with, yeah. So again, just to see how these children just smile when they see their superstar that they love. You bet, yeah.
Yep. So I'm not going to be one of the online marks who, you know, is going to opine on, you know, what they think should have happened and which match should have took place. Or I mean, I barely even watch the stuff because I'm too busy doing my shit. I don't have time to. Who's got 3 hours on a Monday night? I'm in bed by 8:30 if all's going well. I'll watch the highlights the next day. I mean, that's all you really need. But again, because that's what other people are about, you know, and God bless them, you know.
Well, Mr. Frye, you got any other questions?
Nope, I'm good, partner.
Well, then we're going to get started, go into a little wrap-up mode right here. We've been talking here with Mr. Seth Turner. He's the president of the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. And if you want to learn more about the International Professional Hall of Fame, simply go to www.prowrestlinghall.org or the Facebook page, again, International Professional Wrestling
Hall of Fame. Yep. International
Hall of Fame.
They'll find us. We're out there. You know, we're not hard to find.
Again, it's an operation that has some really good people that are involved with it. They're doing it for all the right reasons. They've got an authentic, true Brooks and Moiter that they've got set up. I was there for the ribbon cutting event to see just some wonderful artifacts that are in there, and all I know is that it's going to continue to get bigger and better. And already we've got certain things that are being planned there for the last weekend in August is when their next event will be taking place for 2023. So mark that in your new calendars now for next year. And again, just a lot of good people, a very fun event. Just again, people that really care about the business, and they showcase it a great deal. So again, Mr. Seth Turner, it's been my honor, pleasure to have you on there this evening with my cantankerous cohort there, Mr. Frye. And to all those viewers that have been watching and listening, if toxic masculinity upsets you in any way, well, put on your man panties, because we're just men that we're talking about manly kind of things here. And we still live in a country where you have the choice to watch us or not. So that's how we are. And at the International Professionals Hall of Fame, they've got coffee mugs, they've got souvenir T-shirts, they've got the hot tank coffee to go with that coffee mug, and there's other stuff there yet. So like I said, check out their website. Again, the www.prowrestlinghall.org, and their Facebook pages, and to find out more about what they've got coming on up, and mark them calendars for, once again, for that last weekend in August.
Thank you very much, Dan. It was honestly our pleasure to have you join us as we cut the ribbon at the museum. It was great to have you as part of our induction ceremony. We're really looking forward to having the Beast back in 2023. It really is a pleasure to know that we can call on you and ask for advice, because we don't pretend to know everything. We want to learn, we want to get better, we want to keep improving. And but I am going to walk away tonight feeling really good, because Don let me know that to get a compliment from you, he's never heard it happen before. So that's why this is the Trailblazer, baby.
Shocking.
Well, thank you there, Seth Turner. Have a great rest of your evening. And again, you guys jump on the road now, right?
That's right. AEW is going to be at the arena tomorrow. So we've got a big wrestling event. We got to get there to the museum, and people be coming by.
Well, send me a couple things I can post on my Facebook pages, even whether they get posted tonight or tomorrow sometime, just so I can help.
Pictures of you shoving Bill Apter's head up a horse's ass. I'll send that right to you.
There you go.
Give Chris Jericho my respect, will you?
I will.
Haven't seen him in a decade and a half.
All right, I will, Don.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
All right there, Seth. Take care. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.